Which of the following refrigerant has the maximum ozone depletion potential in the stratophere? A. Ammonia. B. Carbon dioxide. C. Sulfur dioxide. D. Fluorine. The correct answer is fluorine. Which of the following statement is correct? Other constant enthalpy lines are also constant wet bulb temperature lines. B. The wet bulb and dry bulb temperature are equal at saturation condition. C. The wet bulb temperature is a measure of enthalpy of moist air. D. All of the above. The correct answer is all of the above. According to Stefan's law, the total radiation from a black body per second per unit area is directly proportional to the fourth power of the absolute temperature. A. Correct. B. Incorrect. C. D. The correct answer is correct. In electrolux refrigerator, A. Ammonia is absorbed in hydrogen. B. Ammonia is absorbed in water. C. Ammonia evaporates in hydrogen. D. Hydrogen evaporates in ammonia. The correct answer is ammonia evaporates in hydrogen. Two long parallel surfaces each of emissivity 0.7 are maintained at different temperatures and accordingly have radiation heat exchange between them. It is desired to reduce 75 of the radiant heat transfer by inserting thin parallel shields of emissivity 1 on both sides. The number of shields should be A1, B2, C3, D4. The correct answer is 3. A bootstrap air cooling system has A1 heat exchanger, B2 heat exchangers, C3 heat exchangers, D4 heat exchangers. The correct answer is 2 heat exchangers. The boiling point of is 10.5 C. A. Ammonia. B. R12. C. Sulfur dioxide. D. Carbon dioxide. The correct answer is sulfur dioxide. 1 ton of refrigeration 1 TR means that the heat removing capacity is A. 21 kg min, B. 210 kg min, C. 420 kg min, D. 620 kg min. The correct answer is 210 kg min. The operating pressure for refrigerating units using R12 as a refrigerant is A. 2 bar, B. 8 bar, C. 15 bar, D. 30 bar. The correct answer is 8 bar. The specific humidity during heating and humidification process. A. Remains constant. B. Increases. C. Decreases. D. The correct answer is increases. The superheated vapor region in a pressure enthalpy chart is represented by the space A to the left of saturated liquid line, B to the right of saturated liquid line, C between the saturated liquid line and saturated vapor line, D none of the above. The correct answer is between the saturated liquid line and saturated vapor line. The minimum temperature to which water can be cooled in a cooling tower is A. Dew point temperature of air, B. Wet bulb temperature of air, C. Dry bulb temperature of air, D. Ambient air temperature. The correct answer is wet bulb temperature of air. The index which correlates the combined effects of air temperature, relative humidity, and air velocity on the human body is known as A. Mean radiant temperature, B. Effective temperature, C. Dew point temperature, D. None of these. The correct answer is effective temperature. The ratio of Nusselt number and the product of Reynolds number and Prandtl number is equal to A. Stanton number, B. Biot number, C. Peclet number, D. Grasshopper number. The correct answer is Stanton number. The alignment circle is marked on the psychrometric chart at A20 cdBt and 50 Rh, B26 cdBt and 50 Rh, C20 cdBt and 60 Rh, D26 cdBt and 60 Rh. The correct answer is 26 cdBt and 50 Rh. The COP of a Carnot refrigerator in winter will be as compared to COP in summer. A. Same. B. Lower. C. Higher. D. The correct answer is higher. Which of the following statement is correct? A. The human body can lose heat even if its temperature is less than the atmospheric temperature. B. The increase in air movement increases the evaporation from the human body. C. The warm air increases the rate of radiation of heat from the human body. D. Both A and B. The correct answer is both A and B. When the temperature of the surrounding is higher than the temperature of the body, then the heat lost by convection from the body to the surrounding will be A. Positive, B. Negative, C. Zero, D. None of these. The correct answer is negative. If a gas is to be liquefied, its temperature must be A. Increased to a value above its critical temperature, B. Reduced to a value below its critical temperature, C. Equal to critical temperature, D. None of the above. The correct answer is equal to critical temperature. The thermostatic expansion valve is used in type of evaporators. A. Flooded, B. DX coil, C. Dry, D. The correct answer is dry. According to Prevosts' theory of exchanges, every body, irrespective of its temperature, continuously emit heat radiations to the surrounding bodies and at the same time receives heat radiations from the surrounding bodies. A. True, B. False, C. D. The correct answer is true. In a bootstrap air evaporative cooling system, the evaporator is provided A. Between the combustion chamber and the first heat exchanger, B. Between the first heat exchanger and the secondary compressor, C. Between the secondary compressor and the second heat exchanger, D. Between the second heat exchanger and the cooling turbine. The correct answer is between the second heat exchanger and the cooling turbine. According to Stefan-Boltzmann law, the total radiation from a black body per second per unit area is directly proportional to the A. Absolute temperature, B. Square of the absolute temperature, C. Cube of the absolute temperature, D. Fourth power of the absolute temperature. The correct answer is fourth power of the absolute temperature. A good refrigerant should have A. High latent heat of vaporization and low freezing point, B. High operating pressures and low freezing point, C. High specific volume and high latent heat of vaporization, D. Low COP and low freezing point. The correct answer is high latent heat of vaporization and low freezing point. The thermal diffusivity for gases is generally those for liquids. A. Equal to, B. Less than, C. Greater than, D. The correct answer is greater than. The condition of refrigerant after passing through the expansion or throttle valve in a vapour compression system is A. High pressure saturated liquid, B. Wet vapour, C. Very wet vapour, D. Dry vapour. The correct answer is very wet vapour. The process of adding moisture to the air without change in its dry bulb temperature is known as humidification. A. Agree, B. Disagree, C. D. The correct answer is agree. In case of liquids and gases, the heat transfer takes place according to A. Conduction, B. Convection, C. Radiation, D. None of these. The correct answer is convection. The radiation emitted by a black body is known as A. Black radiation, B. Full radiation, C. Total radiation, D. All of these. The correct answer is all of these. The sensible heat during humidification process decreases. A. True, B. False, C. D. The correct answer is false. According to Newton's law of cooling, the heat transfer from a hot body to a cold body is A. Directly proportional to the surface area, B. Directly proportional to the difference of temperatures between the two bodies, C. Either A or B, D. Both A and B. The correct answer is both A and B. The freezing point of carbon dioxide is equal to boiling point of R12. A. Correct, B. Incorrect, C. D. The correct answer is incorrect. The condition of refrigerant as it leaves the compressor in a vapour compression system is A. Saturated liquid, B. Wet vapour, C. Dry saturated vapour, D. Superheated vapour. The correct answer is superheated vapour. The superheating in a refrigeration cycle A. does not alter C.O.P, B. increases C.O.P, C. decreases C.O.P, D. none of these. The correct answer is decreases C.O.P. Thermal conductivity of a material may be defined as the A. quantity of heat flowing in 1 second through a slab of the material of area 1 cm to and thickness 1 cm when its faces differ in temperature by 1 C. B. Quantity of heat flowing in 1 second through 1 cm of material when opposite faces are maintained at a temperature difference of 1 C. C. Heat conducted in unit time across unit area through unit thickness when a temperature difference of unity is maintained between opposite faces. D. All of the above. The correct answer is all of the above. During sensible heating of air, specific humidity remains constant. A. Agree, B. Disagree, C. D. The correct answer is agree. Air refrigeration cycle is used in A. commercial refrigerators, B. domestic refrigerators, C. air conditioning, D. gas liquefaction. The correct answer is gas liquefaction. Reynolds number is the ratio of A. energy transferred by convection to that by conduction, B. kinematic viscosity to thermal diffusivity, C. inertia force to viscous force, D. none of the above. The correct answer is inertia force to viscous force. The wet bulb depression is 0 when relative humidity is A. 0, B. 0.5, C. 0.75, D. 1.0. The correct answer is 1.0. In a shell and coil condenser, water flows in the shell and the refrigerant in the coil. A. True, B. False, C. D. The correct answer is false. In a saturated air-water vapor mixture, the A. dry bulb temperature is higher than wet bulb temperature, B. dew point temperature is lower than wet bulb temperature, C. dry bulb, wet bulb and dew point temperature are same, D. dry bulb temperature is higher than dew point temperature. The correct answer is dry bulb, wet bulb and dew point temperature are same. Dew point temperature corresponds to the saturation temperature of vapor at its partial pressure. A. True, B. False, C. D. The correct answer is true. The capillary tube is not used in large capacity refrigeration systems because A. cost is too high, B. capacity control is not possible, C. it is made of copper, D. required pressure drop cannot be achieved. The correct answer is capacity control is not possible. The ratio of emissive power of a body to the emissive power of a perfectly black body is called emissivity. A. Agree. B. Disagree. C. D. The correct answer is agree. The thermostatic expansion valve operates on the changes in the A. Degree of superheat at exit from the evaporator. B. Temperature of the evaporator. C. Pressure in the evaporator. D. None of the above. The correct answer is degree of superheat at exit from the evaporator. In a vapour compression system, the condition of refrigerant before entering the expansion or throttle valve is A. High pressure saturated liquid. B. Wet vapour. C. Very wet vapour. D. Dry vapour. The correct answer is high pressure saturated liquid. The freezing point of R12 is A. 86.6 C. B. 95.2 C. C. 107.7 C. D. 135.8 C. The correct answer is 135.8 C. The refrigerant supplied to a compressor must be A. Superheated vapour refrigerant. B. Dry saturated liquid refrigerant. C. A mixture of liquid and vapour refrigerant. D. None of these. The correct answer is superheated vapour refrigerant. The unit of thermal diffusivity is A. mHK. B. mH. C. m2H. D. m2HK. The correct answer is m2H.